Hello and welcome back. This is part 6. 6 already. We're doing well with this. Of our build of the Jet Provost T4 from Airfix in 1/72 scale. Our first kit together. And remember last time we glued all the bits together. Painted the canopy, did the silver on the inside and the red on the outside. What I've done is I've just gone ahead a bit and just painted the black on the nose, because the painting bit is going to take us quite a long time. I'll be pausing the video. I'll show you how to do like we did last time, the original. When we painted the inside, remember we did thin coats. I'll do a little bit, I'll pause it, I'll do some more. Otherwise, watching paint dry is going to be very, very boring, and it'll get very boring very quickly. And then hopefully towards the end of the video we'll get through to putting on the decals, and then in the next video we should be alright to get on and start actually doing a diorama for our little Provost to sit on. So, remember I said get a larger brush. You still need your smaller brush. What we're going to do is we're just going to paint around the little fiddly bit around the nose, okay, with a smaller brush. And then we'll get onto the big brush and we'll do a thin coat on one of the wings. Okay, I'll pause it and I'll paint the rest of it, and then we'll do a second coat. I'll unpause it. We'll do the second coat on the wing. And just to show you how we go one way and then another. Then I'll finish it. I'll paint the rest of it, because you really don't want to sit here watching me paint it, because it would be absolutely boring. So we'll paint it. It'll take, it would be an hour video probably, watching me do coats and drying times, and you don't want to sit there watching that for an hour. So I'll do that. I'll paint a wing for you. We'll do around a little bit. I'll paint a wing. I'll pause it. I'll let it dry, and I'll paint the rest. Let that dry, and then we'll do a second coat. All right. So remember what I said about thin coats. Just paint your black. Leave it for an hour or two. I'm playing an Xbox or something, or your PlayStation. Put your paint on the palette. A little bit of water. All right. And literally just give it a very thin coat, going all the one direction. So what I'm doing this time is we're going to go this way, and the same with the wing. We'll go this way and then we'll go that way on the second coat. Okay, so you just build it up, just nice and slowly. It's not a race. We're not in a rush. You've got all the time in the world to do it. I know it'd be nice to get it finished, but patience, like I said right at the very start, patience is one thing I cannot teach you. You'll just have to learn that yourself. So just nice and steady. Keep your brush strokes on each coat the same way, and that way you'll eliminate a lot of brush marks. You won't cover up any of the detail in the panel lines, and it will give you a much nicer finish than just hitting it with a big blob of paint. Because let's face it, you've done well so far. You've built it. Why ruin it on a bit of painting stage just because you weren't patient? There's no point, is there? It looks rubbish at first. When you first start doing it like this, you think, oh, these pants. But trust me, just build it up nice and slowly. Right, so we're finished with the little bush for now. So we're going to a larger brush and show you one which is so much easier. Right, so we'll do the wing. Right, and it's literally, it's probably going to take, it may even take 4 or 5 really thin coats, but it doesn't matter. Try and get into the detailed areas as well, where all the panel lines and this might be a little bit too thin in places, but it doesn't matter. I've got all the time in the world. And get it all even and nice. I'd already painted off on the sprue the air intakes, and they started off looking like that, and then they finish off looking like that. So what I'll do now, we'll just pause the video and I'll carry on with all the paintings and get the first coat down, leave it to dry, and then I'll come back and we're ready for the second coat. Alright, see you in a bit. And 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. So what have we done? We've done the first coat, we let it dry for about 15 minutes. Okay, now it looks naff, doesn't it? Doesn't look brilliant. What I also did was I've given the underside its second coat, just to show you the difference. Okay, now it's starting to look better, isn't it? Thin coats, don't worry about what it looks like when you first start. Okay, it's building it up. Put a layer on, leave it for 10 minutes, do your second coat, your third coat, your fourth coat, it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't look a lot, but these little pots, as long as you thin it, like we said, like the consistency of milk, so about 80% paint, 20% water, it goes a long, long way. There's more than enough paint in the pot to do it, so don't panic about that. Alright, so let's do this wing again. We'll get a brush, we'll get our paint, a bit of water with it. Alright, and then this way, this time we're going to go that way, in nice long even strokes. And already you see how it's starting to look a lot better. It's just learning patience, that's all it is. Just give it 10 minutes between coats. Nice thin coats, and just build it up. It's still going to take probably another 2 coats. But when you get to your third and fourth coats, you're not putting as much paint on even then. Because you're only really touching up areas by that point. So remember, always put the brush in the same direction. And just literally, nice and steady, building it up. Doesn't matter if it takes 6 or 7 coats of really, really thin paint. What you're not doing by doing it in thin coats is you're not destroying all that detail that you would do if you just got a big paintbrush full and just went slap. We've gone the wrong direction. If you do, don't panic, doesn't matter. You just won't cover it as well. So what I'll do now is I'll carry on with this, and then we'll set it to one side, let it dry overnight, and then when we come back it'll all be nice and painted, and then we'll get on to doing all the decals in the world, getting all this on. Now some people hate the building, some people hate the painting, some people hate doing the decals. I'm not bothered actually, I quite enjoy all of it. I think painting is my least favourite, if I'm honest. But I enjoy all aspects of it. But you might find that yourself, you're like, oh, I hate doing decals. Later on, when you've built a few, well, you might think to yourself, oh, I hate the painting stage. But I love the building and I love the decals. You'll just get used to it. Right, so I'm going to get on with this. You get on with yours, and we'll see you in a second. Due to the magic of editing and pause buttons and this being a sort of time machine, we'll see you what will be tomorrow when we get on with the decals. Right, I'll see you in a minute. No, I won't. I'll see you tomorrow. In a minute tomorrow. Alright, see you in a bit. Oh, right, 3, 2, 1, and you're back in the room. It's been 24 hours. I've actually been to bed, got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, gone to work, and all the time the Provost has been drying the paintwork. So, before we get on with that, I have found the perfect thing for our U-boat dials that we're going to do. It's not what I thought we were going to get, which was one of the box picture frames. This is from a shop in UK called The Works, and it was £4. But we're going to get 2 projects out of 1 from this box. What we're going to do is we're going to unscrew it, and we'll take that off. Okay, and we're going to use the box bit. Now it's a little bit deep, but we can just put more polystyrene in it and pack it up. Okay, so don't panic about the depth of it. But that is the perfect length for what we're going to do. Now the lid, once we've taken it off, if you look at the front of it, it's not really just a random pattern. I've just worked out what it was when I was sitting here. That's the water, that's a swan, there's a tree, and there's flowers and some clouds. What we could do is we could get our tester pot paints. We could cover this with a watered down PVA to seal it, and then we could paint it, put a ribbon at the top to hang it, and we could make your mum a wall plaque just to say thank you for letting you do your modelling. Hey, it's genius. And that's a silly little project we can do just 1 episode sort of thing. It might not be model making, but it's making something for your mum, and she'll love it. I bet she'll love that. She'll hang that in the toilet or something. It'd be great. It's genius. So it's £4 and it's from The Works. So we're already up to about £17. No, we're not. We're up to about £19, so we've got about a pound to spare. Oh, it's getting panicky now for our £20 limit on the build. We may go over a little bit. We might have to do it in like a 2 month or 2 week, depending on our budget thing. But it'll be well worth it when we've done it. All right, 2 projects in 1. It's genius. Anyway, right, back to the Provost. So, how far did we get? So, we painted it. Hopefully yours looks like this. Now then, because this is a gloss coat as well, we don't have to do anything to the decals. We don't have to use set and sol. What we would do normally, if this was a matte coat and we're not using set and sol because we haven't got it, we can't afford it, we would use watered down PVA glue, okay, and give it a coat where the decals are going, and then when it dries we put the decals on it. It starts what they call silvering. After a time, like it's been sat on your shelf for 5 or 6 months, sometimes the decals will start to silver around the edges, and you'll see the backing paper that it comes on. Right. Now this is a gloss coat, so we don't need to do that. It should be fine. It usually only does it on a matte coat. It can happen occasionally, but we're not going to worry about it. So we're going to do the decals on this now, alright, and then we'll put the fiddly little bits on in the cockpit, and the next episode we'll do the diorama for it. So hopefully by the end of this episode we'll have a finished aeroplane that will look really nice. So, decals. Now we're just going to put it on with water. We don't have to worry about the paint because it's a gloss and the decals will slide. Now if there's a matte finish, what we'd do is we'd use a PVA and it'd help us to position the decals. It can be a bit tricky sometimes. It can on matte finishes. All right, we'll go into that on a later date. So we'll run through how to do decals again. We did it for the cockpit, but these are a lot bigger. So let me get my. That's not it. Where's it gone? We'll use one of these. We'll use one of these. I've got a couple of different types of plastic trays that I use for different things. This will do, because we can put water in one section, we'll put the decal in the other dry. So you're going to need a cotton bud or 2. You're going to need a little bit of kitchen roll. So we'll put that there, and we're going to use some skizzers. So the instructions for the decals with this one are on the instruction sheet. They're actually on the back of the box, and all you're doing is the numbers in the squares are the numbers of the decals on the sheet. Alright, so what I'll do, like I said last time, what I'll do is I'll do one side without using set and sol. What I'll do later on is I'll do this wing, which is just the vandals, I'll put on using set and sol, and then if you've got it, it will show you how to use that as well. So let's get some water. Remember about water, don't have it hot, just lukewarm, just slightly over room temperature. It just helps it to settle down and conform. So let's do one without. So we'll do the left wing, so it's decal number 6, which is an RAF vandal. Do you know what? I'll put my speculators on, my Seymours. You'll need these when you get older. I'm very vain, I try not to use them if I can help it, but that's quite naughty. I should use them all the time really, when I'm reading or doing things. Right, and tweezers, where'd I put my tweezers? There they are. Reuse them ones. So, what we do, we sit it in the water, right, make sure it sinks. It's not sinking, I'm not deep enough, I'm not putting enough water in there. Right. There we go. We'll sit it there to dry. Now while that's doing that, we'll get the other one ready, which is another number 6. Just not to confuse us, they're all number 6s on the roundels, so they're all the same size. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So let's trim him off. And it's the same to start with. Just soak it in the water. Right, so let's see if this one's ready. It might not be ready yet. No. Remember what I said, if it's not ready, don't try and force it, don't try to move it about. It will come loose of its own accord, the glue will release with the water. Right, always keep your decals out of the way as well. You don't want to get them damp, even at this stage, not until you want to use them. Right, let's also get my set and sol. Look at that. It's a Smoo Industries anti-clumsy person device. You can't knock. You go, don't ever knock this stuff over extra thin. Right? It stinks. It smells like pear drop sort of, slightly, but it stinks to high heaven, and you will feel very woozy and dizzy and ill. So if you do, let's move it. If you do knock any sort of glue over like that, clean it up, open the windows, and then get out of the room for a couple of hours and let the smell go, because it will make you very ill. Sniffing glue is not something you want to do. That's all we do. Like that. That's how easy it was. It literally just slides off the paper. Now then, we have a look on the instructions, and it will show you where it goes. Once it's in position, get your cotton bud or Q-tip, put it on it and roll. Don't move it, don't rub it, roll it. Okay, and it will force the water out from underneath it. And it will also dry the water up around it. Well, continuity error then. Blimey, my phone switched off for some bizarre reason when I was filming. The camera bit switched off. So what I'll do is we did that one with just the water. I'll do it again with set and sol. We'll do one of the underneath ones, which is the same. It's a number 6, I believe. Yeah, a number 6. Technology, blimey, let me down. But never mind, we can fix it. So we'll get the number 6 off. What I said though, keep your decals away from water and things, and plonk her in the water. Plonk. Leave him for a second or two. And then put him on there for it to do its magic. Okay, and then we'll get, and we'll set and solve that again. Now then, what you want to do is you want to use the micro set. I don't know where they get the names from. I think it'd be the other way around. Micro set, and where it's going to go. Ooh, what's that? The heck is that? Okay, bit of dust. Right, where we want to go, we just put just a little thin coating of it. And it does go about there. What we'll do is we'll cover all of it slightly because there's a huge long series of numbers and letters that goes across that. We might as well do it at the same time. And that is the number 11s, which are huge, big series of letters and numbers. Let's just cut them off this the backing paper. Okay, just when you're doing this, just be very careful you don't cut through one of the other ones close to it. Over there, we'll soak that in the water. Let that soak for a little bit because it's quite a large one. Now, is that moving? Where did I put my cocktail stick? There it is. Is that free yet? Is it moving? Yes, it is. So, pick him up. We have some excess water. Ooh, I dropped it, mother. Right, let's just slide in where he needs to go. And that's about a tiny bit that way, a little bit. About there. See how easy it is to put them on? All you've got to do is just let the water work its magic on the glue on the back of the decal and soften it up and free itself. And then you can move it about in the bin bit. Rinse your brush out when you've done your micro set. Where did I put the end? Oh, there it is. Don't be like Dave. Dave's an idiot. Always remember where you put your cap for your brush. Is this one free yet? Yeah. Right then. So it's a big decal, so just hold the end of it and slide the paper away. And that's about where it needs to be. So we'll get our cotton bud, start in the middle, roll it, don't push it, just literally just roll it, and it'll force the water out from underneath it. Okay, then what you want to do, if you're using set and sol, get some sol. You want it a little bit, you don't want to drown it. Okay, so wipe the excess off on the edge of the bottle and literally just very gently paint it over the top of them. Right, and then what you do, leave it alone then. Don't fiddle. What will happen is it slightly melts the decal, it'll start to wrinkle up and shrink, and as it's drying out it will move back again, but when it's moving back it will go into all the little recesses and all the nooks and crannies, and it'll conform to any little rivets and things like that, and it'll set it down beautifully. Alright, it's very, very good stuff. It's a luxury thing, alright, for you to get later on. It's fantastic stuff. You can do it without, but it does give you a better finish if you use it. So think about investing in that later on when you've got some change from our our builds, the change we get from the builds from your £20, stick it in a jar or something, and you'll be surprised at how quick it builds up to £6 or £7. You can get yourself a set and so things like that. Another thing to do like that will be save up a little bit, or if it's your birthday or something coming up soon, ask your mum and dad for a hot glue gun, because that's a great tool to have, especially when we come to do dioramas. Hot glue gun. If you're a little bit of an older modeller, not for the younger ones. If you're getting one and you are a young modeller, then get mum and dad to use it with you. Okay? She will do anyway. By the time we've done that plaque thing for her, she's going to love you. She's going to think you're great. She's going to love this model making idea if she gets things like that occasionally out of us. So, let me just put that back out of the way, because we're just going to use water from now on. Now don't forget, if this was a gloss, a matte coat, we'd have put down watered down PVA. But it's a gloss coat, so we don't have to bother. Right, so, have you got the basics on how to do decaling? Do you reckon you've sussed it out now? Do one more. We'll put the roundel on this side. Alright. So, cut it off, making sure we avoid every other one. We don't damage another one. We set it in the water just for a couple of seconds, let it soak a little bit, just for a second or two. Right, we take it out, we'll put it to one side and leave it for a couple of minutes. And the glue that holds the decal down to the paper will activate with the water. It is glue, it's not friction or black magic or dark magic, it's what we discussed last time. I had to check, it's actually glued on. It's a water based glue that reacts with the water, and then you can stick it down. It's clever shenanigans. Nearly as clever as Bandai plastics. When we do a Gundam later on, you'll be amazed at how Bandai do it. It's some sort of dark magic the way they make they mould their plastic, where they've got 2 or 3 different types of plastic on the same sprues. That should be. Now, remember what I said the other day about bullying and trolls? That's my 17-year-old son upstairs getting very, very wound up playing on his PlayStation in public groups. And no matter how many times I tell him, don't get annoyed, don't get wound up, because people that you're playing with aren't doing what you want them to do, or they're doing badly in raids. Don't do it. The only person you're winding up is yourself. Right, so we'll just roll it. There we go. Right, so I'm going to pause this now, and I'm going to carry on putting on all the rest of the decals. When we come back, we'll put all the other bits on, and then I'll show you how to put the canopy on. And then that'll be finished, the aeroplane, and we can move on to the diorama, the next episode. I'll see you in a minute, or a second, or I'll see you instantly. It's like a time machine, it's great. And back, see how magic it is, look, instant, and there it is. Right, what I've done is I've applied decals, put the little greeblies back on, apart from the 2 little tiny square aerials, because, oh, and that decal was slightly moved. So let's, oh, no good trying to use a pointy stick. Try and get decals to conform again. And if it moves on you at some point, I've got set and sew, just put a little bit of water on it, and it will reactivate the glue in a couple of seconds, and you can just smooth it down again with a paintbrush. Right, so the canopy. How do we attach the canopy? We use PVA glue. Now if you used Satan's snot, if you've got extra thin or without contactor, if you try and use that, the older will slightly melt the plastic, and it will what they call fog. And once it does that, it's virtually impossible, apart from with lots and lots of polishing sticks and sanding sticks, to get it back together. You can either use this stuff. There is actual canopy adhesive you can buy. I don't bother using it, I use either that, or in some cases if it's really like a big ball to it or a bomb or something like that, I'll use an odorless CA glue, an odorless super glue, something like Bob Smith Industries Gold. But the cheapest way of doing it is PVA. The only problem is, once you use it with PVA, you have to leave it for 24 hours before you touch it. And the beauty of PVA glue is it does form a strong bond and it dries clear. So even if you get a little tiny bit on the canopy, don't panic. Wipe off what you can with a wet cotton bud. Or if it's inside, don't panic, it will dry clear. Alright? So, find out where your canopy's got to go. So we'll do the front one, the windscreen sort of thing, and there's a groove behind the instrument panel, and that's where part number D01 fits in. So same as always, don't clip it right off close to it, just leave it a little tiny nub, a little tiny bit of the plastic left on there. Get your stick of much sanding, and just very gently sand the nub off. Now what you will have to do is obviously do a tiny bit of touch up on the paint tomorrow, 24 hours later. Alright, and then all you do is using your cocktail stick, right, just tiny bits of PVA glue. You don't want huge amounts. As I said to you when we were gluing together, you'd be amazed at how little glue you actually need to fasten things together. And it literally try and get it square. Be out if I get it square on there. I'm an idiot. Make sure when you sit it on there, it's in the centre. It really is that simple. It's not rocket science making a model kit. It's following the instructions, planning ahead, and then using the right tool for the right job. And you will always do a nice decent job of it. And the more practice you do, the more you make, the more practice you get, the more skills you'll pick up and learn. And very soon, it won't be long before you're producing models that anybody will be proud of. So this one goes, it's like an extra bit that fits over the back of the canopy. And it literally sits on the two little lines. Where did I put my cocktail stick? Go on, oh no, who's eating my cocktail stick? That's it. Duh. Right, so tiny bit of PVA, literally a tiny bit. Put it where it needs to be. Is that the right way around? Or is it, no, it's the other way around. I blame knackered old man's eyes. That was the right way. See, knackered old man's eyes. So that sits there. Now I'm having my canopy open, so I'm going to be using number 4. If you're having your canopy closed, you use number 2. Alright, so number 4 is that one. It would have helped to put my Optivisor on. Very small numbers on these 172 kits, especially on the clear parts. It can be quite hard to see for old blind people. I was blind and now I can see. You probably won't get that, it's a Monty Python thing. So, bit of CA glue, PVA glue, where it needs to be. Jessica's sorry about something. That's one of the children from next door. Lovely kid. She's one of life's generous souls, bless her. And it goes that way around. And just sits like that. And there we go. We are finished with the building of the aircraft. I'll put my teeth in a minute. Of the Airfix 172nd T4 jet Provost. So well done. If you followed on, if you're doing the build and you get to this stage, well done. Alright, feel proud of yourself. Next time we'll do something nice for it to sit on. I've got mine propped up on a bottle of glue because the wheels are drying. So I shall see you in the next episode, which will be part 6A, Beyond the Cockpit. There's a joke in there. Mike Foxwolf, model making guru, was doing the D'Agostini Millennium Falcon. Got to episode 6, which was at the end of building the cockpit bit, and then didn't do any more because his bench isn't big enough to fit it all on. So it's a bit of a joke between the model maker and Boom Hut. Have you joined the Boom Hut yet? Go and join the Model Makers Boom Hut on Facebook. It's a great group, a fantastic group. Join Smooth's Dungeon, that's another good group. Now then, websites to look at, or YouTube channels to look at, is obviously Model Making Guru, Skipper Ted, fantastic. Ted is a wonderful guy, an amazing model maker. There's loads and loads. If you want to learn about making dioramas, making your own things for dioramas, like your own washes and your own inks and sand and things like that, you know, basing materials, your own flock and things like that. There's a guy, another northern lad, he's a good lad, he's a good northern Lancashire lad, like me saying, is Luke's Affordable Paint Service, which is Luke's APS. Go and check out Luke's work. He does a lot of Games Workshop sort of stuff, wargaming things, but it transfers over to diorama stuff, which we're going to be doing later. So check out Luke, he's brilliant. Another one to check out for dioramas and looking at how they make model scenery and that is Mel the Terrain Tutor. Mel's got a great channel as well. Model making wise, so it's Fox and Ted and Chris at Gross Models. Festa67. Colin Wilkinson's a friend of mine, Colin. He is just an incredible model maker. He did a Revell double-decker London bus. Now I know it sounds a boring subject. Go and check it out. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And there's Easter eggs. You need to check out for the Easter eggs. Alright. So on that note, I'll leave you pondering what the Easter eggs are on Colin's London bus. Right. But go and check it out. Festa67. Colin is a fantastic, wonderful fella. Alright. Same with Mike Foxwell, Model Making Guru. Check out Fox's stuff as well. You will not be disappointed. And on that note, I'll see you next time when we'll start to build our own diorama. It will be good, I promise you. See you in a bit. I won't, not in a bit. I'll see you later. Turning it off. Where's it? Have you got the? Who's got the button? I've got it.